Salamat malam. How are you, family? Welcome, welcome. My name is Shri, and the name of my channel is Someday Became Today. And I am so grateful that you are here. I am coming to you from Bali, Indonesia, and so happy that you have this beautiful bank of finite time and that you decided to take some of it and share it with me. So I am extremely grateful. Um, it's a beautiful morning here. We are 12 hours ahead. And just really, I feel a lot this morning. I just feel a lot this morning. A lot, a lot. So I'm like super sensitive for some reason. I feel like one big nerve ending in this moment, but I'm pushing through. I mean, I'm feeling everything. I'm gonna put my feet in some sand. hmm I'm feeling everything. Anywho, if this is your first time joining, I want to thank you. Again, the name of my channel is Someday Became Today, and the channel is designed to inspire you to take your someday and make it today. You know, all the things that you have said that you have wanted to do and would do someday, and to just take it off the table and put it in front of you and start taking actionable steps to make it come to fruition. I want to thank you so much. Hey, how are you? Let me see who's here. I can see. Let me try to see on. I think it's on Facebook or is it Instagram? Oh, let's see. Do. I think it's on Instagram that people are jumping on. Oh, beautiful. Hey, Shelly. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here, Shelly. So nice to have you here. Welcome. So, I was thinking about um, the women, that have come before me. And, I remember being, the saying, knee high, what is it, knee high to a toadstool? And I remember, and Shelly, please, if you want, come on over to the YouTube space because I can't see your comments. If you come over to Someday Became Today, and we can chat live, that way we can chop it up and have this beautiful conversation about modifying our prescribed patterns. And what I mean by that is, of course, I come from a long line of beautiful, strong, creative, wealthy women. Like, they were so rich in their character, and it just um they were just some of them are still in existence, so let me not say they were. Some are still in existence. Um but I, like, my lineage, the women were just so feminine, and well, that's what I saw. I saw femininity, I saw strength, i saw um I saw that they knew their divine feminine. I know that they knew um, the power of being a woman and them operating from that space, like, divinely. It was just really beautiful to watch. And I look at the patterns. Oh, hey, Shelly. Thanks for jumping over. I appreciate you making that effort. And I saw, like, And don't forget to subscribe, like, and turn on the notification bell so that this way you'll know when I pop on. But I remember seeing them like, so I'll take my first, when it comes to glamour, right? So I'm gonna share with you the women and how they have become me, and then I'm going to share with you how I've modified some of the things that I saw them do to suit myself. And I was wondering, what patterns did you see growing up? And then what things did you as a woman now, a full grown woman, have you decided to modify? Right. So I'm going to take my Aunt Aris. She was glamorous. I mean, the gloves with the purse, with the eyelashes, with the hair, with all of the things. And she was just so, so feminine, so just goddessy. Like my aunt was an incredible goddess, and she's an ancestor now. And I remember watching her and my mother prepare to go out for an evening. And oh, safe travels, Shelley. Oh, thank you for jumping on. Despite your reception. So I do hope you're able to stay on as much as you can. But I'm here telling the story about my Aunt Aris, and she was just this. I used to watch her, how she would just do things. She was very exacting. So she used to have like she just was like, just so, you know. It wasn't that you would go to her house and you couldn't like have fun as a child, but things were, in their place, and she had a way about her, and she was put together, and just a gorgeous woman. And I remember like when she wanted us to teach us lessons, she would like, for instance, she was trying to teach us as children responsible drinking. Like that was in the 70s, I guess that was the thing. And she would do like mock, and I actually see people on Instagram now with their children. They do like these mock dinners, or these like show children etiquette, so she was trying to teach us etiquette, right? Like how to behave when you're out somewhere, right? But she had this bar, and she would put us up on the bar stools. I don't know why, but it was so much fun. And she would create Shirley Temples, and she would teach, and then she would just, do everything just so, like, make us feel like we went out somewhere and we were sitting at a bar. It was so funny. But I think about it, I was like, why would you teach children? But what she did was, in that lesson, what I got was, if you're going to go out and have a cocktail, you should be a certain way. You shouldn't like, you know, you shouldn't like, I guess she didn't want us to become sloppy drunks to be able to drink, socially, But that just makes me laugh. I remember her making the Shirley Temples, and just, the cherries. And then sometimes my cousins and I, we would act as though we were like intoxicated. It was so funny. But then she would look at us like, that's not the way you act. And so we kind of got that messaging from her pattern, right? That was one pattern, the way that she actually put herself together, and then the way that she prepared things for us to experience in her home. And then I had another aunt, a great aunt, and she was the keeper of my ancestry. She's the one that told me about my Native American roots in South Carolina, and about my great grandfather, and um, um, his my great grandmother, and how they looked. She described him as a big, tall, red man with very long hair, and how he would say certain words. He was a very serious man. He wasn't one to be played with at all. And she told me how he used to like clear the room. So if I have an ancestor that is absolutely a warrior, when I need to call on, like if I need that energy, that's my great grandfather Aaron. And you know, my grandmother, she was a seamstress, and then she passed that down to my grandmother and also my cousin. It kind of missed me, but the funny thing is my youngest daughter is into fashion, so and she sews and all that, so it's like it's pretty interesting how that stays in the lineage, you know. But that was a pattern that I saw um that aunt being the griot, and so I have assumed that pattern as being the griot. I'm doing the genealogy for my family, you know. So, yeah, and remembering all the stories that I can. Um, so yeah, and then looking at my mother, and my mother as a very strong woman and very determined, and in her Libra style, always for justice and caring for people and things like that. And it's funny because that is who I am. Like that is who I am. I am my mother's daughter. And so, you know, I look at all those good things and I'm like, yeah, that's me. That's me. I see the patterns of the women in my family. And and I thought about some of the things that I did see, you know, not from necessarily women in my family, but you know, other women that I was around because you know, women hang out with other women, and I remember seeing some of my mother's friends and um, uh, even you know just women in general in you know in my neighborhood. And there were certain things that I saw that you know I remember looking at a woman who was like about 60 years old when I was like about 18 or 20, and I was like, wow, like is that what 60 is gonna look like? Because my mother wasn't that age, she was still in her 40s. And like I remember looking at this woman and I'm saying to myself, you know, I looked at her pattern, which was she was very she just looked like she wasn't living, and like she just looked like she was just along for the ride. It didn't seem like there was much excitement to her life, this one particular woman I'm thinking of. And I thought to myself, is that what 60 is going to be like? Like, and it's so funny because I'm like 5 years from 60. And I'm like, wow, I don't 60 is not like that at all. That it's not like that at all. And so, but that was just a pattern of someone who she was a very nice woman, but she just seemed like she was just coasting along. And I look at that and I'm like, you know, some patterns that I saw, um, I don't think I'm going to repeat them. And I think they bear as I become closer to the age of the women that I saw, or the men, even the men that I saw, some things I'm just not going to do and I'm not going to adopt. And I was wondering, what patterns have you modified in your life? Like, um, I'm at a space where I no longer drink. So you know, because it just isn't good for my body, you know. And I can't even eat the same things that my ancestors ate because it just doesn't work well for my body. So I was wondering, what other things have you thought about modifying within yourself? You know, changing the pattern, you know, maybe, you know, like, and I thought about patterns, right? I thought about like dressmaking and how, you know, you make a pattern and then you make the dress and then, you know, the patterns that like putting on those dresses of the women before me, maybe I need an alteration, you know, maybe I need an alteration here and there to suit my life. And I thought about what things have I altered, and I was like, I definitely have altered um, the way that I think. A lot of women that I was exposed to um, had a particular um, thought about their religious beliefs, and I don't follow, I'm more spiritual. My religion is love. Um, and I thought about that, and I was like, yeah, that's something different that I don't do that they did. And I'm grateful for those foundations. Don't get me wrong, because that's what leads you to, well, that's what led me to being more spiritual, was the foundation of a religious upbringing. And then I thought about the foods, like I can't eat the same foods, and I remember certain ailments that were very pervasive in my family, um, especially that diabetes. Like it just seemed like it was a thing. It was like almost like a rites of passage. And I was like, I don't think I want that. And I noticed, I think within my own DNA, I think there's like we all probably have saber-tooth tiger sweet tooth. Like we just love sweets. But the price to pay for following that pattern of eating sweets and having that refined sugar diet, it just it doesn't work for me, and it doesn't work for me. So that's another one of the patterns that I've decided that I no longer can subscribe to. Who doesn't like a good brownie or some pineapple upside down cake, but the effects that it has on me. I remember just, at a certain point being able to eat whatever, like not having a conscience about what I was eating. And I remember it was starting to affect my vision. And I was like, oh, wait a minute, wait a minute. And I even remember a time eating so much sugar, ingesting so much sugar, from various sources. I used to put sugar in everything. I used to, oh my goodness, everything had, my poor children, everything had to have like a flavor of sweetness. And, I'm so glad that I let that go and created my own pattern for this next leg of my life. I give thanks for that awareness, and because can't go on like that. I even remember feeling neuropathy and in my foot, and I was like, hey, wait, why is my foot feeling numb but yet tingly? I was like, that's not. And then I thought about it because I studied pathology, and I was like, you know exactly what that is. You need to stop. And so what I do about, because it's an ongoing thing with me and sugar. So what I do is there's something called Gymnema sylvestre. It's a herb, and it's called the sugar destroyer. And I take a heaping tablespoon full with some water. I wash it down with water, like maybe like an hour before I eat. Yeah, like about an hour before I eat, and then it absolutely kills the desire for the sugar. And yeah, it helps me so much because I know my pancreas is just like, look, girl, look, like stop with the sugar, stop. And I'm like, I value my sight, I value my digits and my limbs. And I also remember a friend of mine who made his transition, but when he made his transition, you know it all started from him having several amputations because of diabetes, and he was drinking those like monster drinks. He used to, because he didn't have a lot of energy, and instead of changing his entire diet, he just would supplement, try to get energy from these sugary drinks, and it wound up costing him it cost him toes, and then the toes became the foot became the leg, and soon after he transitioned from that. And I'm like, I don't want that for myself, so I won't be following that sugar pattern. And thank goodness, um having the opportunity to study under Karen Rose, learned so much about herbalism and my body, and also my background um, in massage, learning body work, learning anatomy and physiology. It's just helped me greatly to really tap in and create a new pattern for myself in terms of my nutrition. So I just think that, we can change the patterns of what we saw and what we've experienced at any time for the betterment of ourselves. It's just it's important. It's important, and it's our duty to, you know, take care of ourselves the best way we know how. And you don't have to have any kind of old allegiance to things that don't serve you personally. So, like, if there's a recipe maybe that you enjoy that was passed down, feel free to modify it. Make it so that it's supporting you, or um, I don't know. I wouldn't say eat less of it, because I'm of the belief, like, I look at sugar now as like a poison to me. So it's like, oh, a little bit of poison won't hurt. Oh, yes, it will. Like, so I stopped telling myself that story, because it's not supportive to the goals in which I wish to aspire to, which is better health as I age. I want to age with all of my faculties. I want to be that grandmother in the kitchen, cooking and walking and traveling and all those things. I want to be a mature adult, a seasoned senior with, my faculties. I don't want dementia. I don't, and you know, I follow Dr. Sabi's nutritional guide closely, and I remember watching one of his lectures, and he explained that dementia is basically um, like inflammation of the brain. And I know that sugar causes inflammation in my body too. So I'm like, I don't want to do that to myself. I want to be sharp. I had a grandma figure who's now an ancestor, Grandma Sophie. Love my Grandma Sophie. And she was my friend's grandmother. And I tell you, she left out of here in her 90s, and she was sharp as a tack. And, I watched the foods that she ate, and she ate like she wasn't big on like the big sweets and stuff like that, but she ate like a Caribbean, very simple diet, it seemed to me. And I think as I age, I'm adopting less complexity and more simplicity, and it's really working for me. And I was wondering, like, I wonder how many other people are ditching, the things that um, no longer serve them. You know, are they, are you all um, being kind to yourself? And I hope so. I hope you are doing things that are pattern breakers, or just kind of amending the patterns in which you are existing in, because this is a good life, and for you to continually not experience have an opportunity to experience it because of old patterns, it's not fair. Don't be fair. Don't do that. Don't do that. And when you cheat yourself out of um, having the most robust life, a life of abilities, you treat others in having the opportunity to experience you in your most robust self. And don't you just want to be your best around folks, or with folks, your people, the new people you meet, the old people you've been with? Don't you just want to just be your best self? Because we'll go like as people, we'll right, we'll go and we'll put on our best clothing, but are we being our best on the inside, to ourselves? Are we listening to things? Are we um our environment? Are we ingesting things in our visual environment, and in our auditory environment? Are we ingesting it in terms of our nutritional environments? Are we taking those things into consideration, that the things of yesteryear may not suit us in this space that we're moving through? You know, you definitely, yeah, some people can wear their things from high school, but should you? Like, is it really a good fit just because you can get it on, you can put it on? No, no, right? How about something new, something fresh, something that will honor the being that you are in this space, right? Right? Tailor yourself a new dress, tailor yourself some new pants, put on some new footwear that supports the body that you have now. You know what I mean? So all these things that I'm saying are like euphemisms for the old patterns that we would subscribe to. We don't need to. We don't need to anymore. You don't even have to, um, like, if you had a pattern of pleasing people, you can stop that today. You don't have to do that anymore. Uh-uh. You can turn all that love. Well, people pleasing isn't really, it isn't really love. It isn't. It's something else. But it's really fear. But we won't get into that right now. But I would like to talk more about you, us, me, you know, how we can look at ourselves and see the improvements, and dare ourselves to make those improvements, to be a new thing in this space. You woke up today. I woke up today. You're going to bed. But when you wake up tomorrow, how about you do something that is outside of the pattern, you know? Please yourself in the way that you were designed to be pleased. You're designed to live a life of happiness. You were. And if you can release the old patterns and come into yourself as a full adult, you can absolutely earn your keep for the reason why you were given the breath of life. You can serve in your fullest capacity. It's just the most wonderful thing. And you have the courage to do it. You can say no, thank you. That's a complete sentence. No, thank you to the things that don't serve you, that fit too tightly, you know, things that you've just held on to for way too long, right? Maybe it's time to donate. And these are all euphemisms, the pattern, right? Donate the pattern. Maybe it's time for someone else to enjoy that pattern which was within you, and you adopt a new pattern. But you can't have both and expect um, to make your someday today. Your someday is only going to come about if you make room. You need to make room for the new you who is going to emerge. What is your someday, right? Is your someday to learn a new language? Is your someday um, to go somewhere, to experience something? What is your someday? And how is releasing an old pattern going to bring you closer to someday? So I want you to consider that, and also consider joining me in October of 2025, where we will be doing some serious, serious work on the island of Bali, Indonesia. And we will just have things. We will just be have have experiences. I don't want to say things. Have experiences that will change the patterns within us forever in the most wonderful ways. And so I thank you for taking time to be here with me today and thinking about how it is that you can change your pattern for your benefit and for the benefit of all those around you. And as you move into your slumber, I would offer you a beautiful meditation. So if you would just snuggle in and close your eyes and just inhale a nice, deep, cleansing breath, breathing in, hold it, and exhale. And again, breathing in, hold it, and exhale. Fantastic. And again, breathing in, hold it, and exhale. Beautiful. Breathing deeper and deeper, deeper and more deeply. Let's continue to breathe. And allow your tongue to rest comfortably on the roof of your mouth, your eyes softened and looking towards your third eye point, seeking your divine intuition. Beautiful. And on your next inhale, you're inhaling peace, gratitude, self-love, and ease. And on your next exhale, you're letting go of fear, disharmony, stress, past hurt. It's already all right. Inhaling the feeling of newness, allowing it to wash over you like a gentle breeze. Being kind to yourself in adapting new patterns that support your highest and greatest good. Beautiful. Breathing deeper and deeper, deeper and more deeply. Allowing each inhale to be a supportive breath of change and elevation. Breathing, allowing your soul to be magnified and ascended. Knowing that the new patterns that you are choosing for yourself will bring about a life that you have never known, but is as lovely as you can ever imagine. Giving yourself grace as you move through this reinvention of self, this divine new being that will meet you on the other side of your slumber. Softening, softening and allowing every part of your body to be at ease with the integration of your new self. Breathing deeper and deeper, deeper and more deeply. Allowing your breath to nourish new thoughts and patterns of elevation, weaving a new and brighter existence within yourself. Knowing that you are powerful and are co-creating a beautiful existence that the Most High is happy to support. And as you move into your dream space with thoughts of newness, clarity, strength, and love, know that it is okay to show up in this world as a new and divine being that is grateful for all that is. And so it is, and so it shall forever be. Namaste. I thank you for being here today and being willing to think about modifying some patterns so that the best you can come forward and give this world and be in this world all that you can be, and sharing that with all of us who are fortunate to come into contact with you. Thank you for doing the work. Have a wonderful slumber. Be good to yourself. Take care. Namaste.